What's up? Greetings, namaste, peace, and blessings, everyone. This is Miriam, and this is our monthly book club meeting. I am recording from my office. I don't think I've done a video from here before. So you might be able to see all the Resonance Apothecary stuff back there. This is where everything happens. And I'm going to be recording the Resonance video shortly after. I don't know if you all see my UFO convention shirt. This is for the month of September. And I am going to be sharing some books that I pulled for the topic of energy exchange. It was kind of tough because next month we're going to be talking about empath medicine, and I feel like it's kind of, the two topics are sort of related, but I was trying to figure out which ones I wanted to keep for the empath medicine month and which ones I wanted to put into this month. So hopefully I did a good job of that. Because we're also talking about breaking up with people. There are a couple of books that are related to that. So the first book that I want to show is called Growing Yourself Up. It is how to bring your best of all life's relationships. So this is all about understanding individual relationships and how to basically increase self-awareness in relationships. This is a really great tool. Let's see what I want to say about this book. What I like about this book is it does talk a lot about, its title, Growing Yourself Up, talks a lot about how to be mature, and I think that that's something that's like, we don't talk a lot about, but it's like, how do we move past some of those places where we're still kind of acting immature and grow into greater like self-awareness and maturity in relationships? I think it's super important. The Power of I Am by John Maxwell. I think I mentioned this book before. This is a classic for me of what I love. Creating a New World of Enlightened Personal Interaction. So this book is all about self-assertion. Some of the things on the back I'm just going to read. Using self-assertion instead of aggression. Dealing with energy vampires. Meeting people with ease and confidence. Gaining personal authority through I Am. Using the power of presence, overcoming stage fright, creating I Am consciousness. So this is a book that deals with all those things within the lens of consciousness. So I really love this. John Maxwell Taylor is an awesome writer. And I really love this book. It's one of my, for sure, all-time favorites. This is a book called The Art of Connection. It is 7 relationship building skills every leader needs now. And it goes through and it talks about the 7 relationship skills, and they are embracing humility, being a glowworm, achieving the 3 liberations, transcending fixations, balancing energy exchange, being a rare listener, turning friction into momentum. So this is a great book, and it uses a lot of examples in it. This is another book called The Tools. And it is about practicing how to work through challenges and problems. 5 tools to help you find courage, creativity, and willpower, and inspire you to live life in forward momentum. And this is a book that I think is pretty important, again, to add more things to your tool belt in that way. This book is called Lovability: Knowing How to Love and Be Loved. I really love this book. I actually had to order a new copy, which happens a lot with me with books. I'll lend someone a book and I never get it back. And then I'll be like, what happened to my Lovability book? And then I ended up buying a new one. And it's by Robert Holden. Yeah. So lovability is a meditation on love. It addresses the most important thing you will ever learn. All happiness, health, and abundance you experience in life comes from your ability to love and be loved. So it is actually the tools on how to work with love. The basic fear, I am not lovable, can play itself out in so many ways. Other common secondary fears are there's something wrong with me, I'm not wanted, I'm not seen, I'm not understood, I'm not capable, I'm not safe, I'm not interesting, I'm all alone, and I don't matter. The basic fear is just the story. So talks about reframing and rewriting, and just, it's great. It's some of these books are like, I don't want to say they're for practitioners, but it's really like, it's written by people who are practitioners, or, you know, or PhD, doctorates, you know, all of that. So yeah, those are some great ones. This is a book, Boundaries, How to Recognize and Set Healthy Boundaries. So boundary violations are both subtle and overt. Good fences make good neighbors. So this is a book about boundaries. Pretty self-explanatory. This is a little bit more on the witchier side, the witch's shield. You guys know I don't do protection work, but I do have a lot of pages in this book bookmarked, because I do think that some of the psychic self-defense techniques are pretty beneficial. It goes into potions, tinctures, banishings, bindings. Again, I don't get into all that kind of stuff, you guys. Becoming a psychic black belt, shielding. So there are some pretty cool tools in here for that kind of thing. This is another super great book, I Can Mend Your Broken Heart. This is a step-by-step guide to by someone who's a hypnotherapist, and overcome emotional pain at the end of a relationship. So I know a lot of you guys were talking about the trauma of moving on and heartbreak, the pain of heartbreak. This is a helpful book for that. And remember I said, like, I'm like really, when it comes to like relationship endings, I'm really good in my processing. Some of the tools that I utilize are from there. Many of them are intuited. Some of them are I intuited and then I read them in the book. So there's a lot of great things to just help work through things. And I'm seeing on the back it says includes free mind programming CD. I don't think I got the CD. Actually, I did get the CD. I wonder what I did with that CD. But anyway, it comes with a CD, if I remember correctly, that has, I think, some guided meditations on it. This is Alan Watts. If you're not familiar with Alan Watts, he's one of my all-time favorite spiritual teachers. This is The Wisdom of Insecurity. A message for the age of anxiety is as powerful today as when the modern classic was first published. We spend too much time trying to anticipate and plan for the future, too much time lamenting the past. We often miss the pleasures of the moment in our anxious effort to ensure the next moment is enjoyable. Drawing from Eastern philosophy and religion, Watts argues that it is only by acknowledging what we do not and cannot know that we can find something truly worth knowing. So I just love Alan Watts so much. And he's always just talking about the wisdom of being aware and transforming our lives and just all of the good stuff. Anyone whose life needs a course correction would be fortunate to be guided by The Wisdom of Insecurity. So it's probably one of my favorite books by him. Last but not least, I don't know how it relates, but this book literally fell off the bookshelf, so I'm going to share it. Somebody must need this book. It's called The Honeymoon Effect. It's by Bruce Lipton. It is, Wayne Dyer says, I was going to say it's one of my favorite reads. Wayne Dyer says, one of my favorite reads ever. He's also the author of The Biology of Belief. What else did Bruce Lipton write? Drawing a blank right now on the other named titles. But it basically talks about how we have these experiences of being in the honeymoon phase, and then we lose it. We can't sustain it. And he talks about what, he actually goes, because he's a doctor. He was a scientist turned mystic, is who he is. He has a chapter called Love Potions, But actually what he does is he goes through and he talks about, this is super interesting, dopamine, vasopressin, oxytocin, serotonin. So he talks about love, the honeymoon effect from a scientific perspective, and what actually is happening when we're experiencing that. So if you like someone who gives some science, but has a context of within a mystical experience, it's basically how to have that effect throughout your whole life. So those are the books that I wanted to share for this month, and I hope you all enjoy them and feel inspired to look into them a little bit deeper. As always, I'm super interested to know what books you all loved and which ones you have read or had some experience with. And I'd love to get your reflections back on these ones after maybe a couple of you have read them. So I love you all so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.